Thursday, November 12th, right?
Yeah.
Which I whatever we did. Thank you everybody for joining us. We've got a great show lined up for you guys, and lots of stuff to talk about. Looks like Debbie's making the last second entry. She's used to us being late, so she's taking her time getting here today. So fun stuff. As always, we recommend or welcome your questions and comments. So please just type them in. If you're asking a specific question, try to include the year and model of Jeep you have and any other pertinent information so I can better answer the question. Let's see. We've got, of course, Jeff is going to be helping me out today. Alex is behind the camera. Debbie's here. We have a few guests in the studio. Notable Chris May, right, from Missouri.
South Carolina, man.
North Carolina, even further.
South Carolina.
South Carolina. All right. I know you don't want to mix those up. The people from North Carolina get really mad if you call them.
That's right. Yeah.
So, yeah, we last Tuesday we talked about a whole bunch of stuff. We had just come back from the Great American Crawl, and I had a whole bunch of things to say about trail etiquette and other things about keeping up.
Pet peeves.
Yeah. If you're one of my friends over on Facebook, I posted a whole bunch of pictures from the Great American Crawl, so you can check those out. What else have we got? What else did we cover last week? We talked about some of the new things, the gloves, and we've got a few things we want to show you today, and we are also going to do a new how-to install Rivnuts. So we're going to talk about a couple things first, and then we will get on to it. Any notable mentions right now, Deb?
I'm sharing, so give me a minute.
Okay. Alex? So we're gonna get going here. First thing, featured products. So the first thing I want to talk about, as many of you know, we offer JK corner guards. These have a recessed taillight bucket, and they take that cool LED light that we put on there. These are nice. They're 1/8 inch thick. They're formed at the top. They fit really nice, but they're kind of expensive because of this. This is really expensive to make. So to help that, we've come out with a brand new, lower cost version that is going to have the standard truck light style and backup light built into it instead of the recessed light. So kind of nice. Hang on to that. Yep. And then for those of you that are more of the do-it-yourself kind of guys, we are also going to offer a blank. So then you can cut in whatever you want, an oval, no lights. I make a kit that you can fill these into. So if you have a drop-down tailgate, you can do whatever you want, and these are a lot less expensive. So keep an eye on our website. You'll see those popping up soon. These are already available, the ones with the recessed light, but the other two will be available. I'll have those up next week. Yep.
Joseph Stumpo asked if we have anything like that for the JL.
Not yet. So there's a couple, everybody on the JL, JL and JT. Bear with us, guys. We're really close to finishing all this stuff. As you know, I'm building a JL right now, and as that rolls out, we're going to have everything for the JL. So just sit tight. Don't get anxious and buy some other junk. Ours will be well worth the wait, so just sit tight. You're probably only a month or two off. Everything from our cargo rack to the corner guards, and I've got another JK or JL product I will be showing you a little later on in this slide that I know many of you are asking for. So just sit tight and we'll cover some of that. Any other questions right this second?
Summer Ann said she wants the recessed light, so get on with it already.
Awesome. And she is JL,
correct?
Right? Yeah, that's right. Because I saw she had the fender deletes on when I just saw her last weekend.
Putting her rockers on soon.
She was out of Moab. She says that was the last trip, and then she's tearing that Jeep down and really getting after it. So hopefully, maybe she can post some pictures of her whole evolution too. So I know everybody wants to get rid of those taillights that hang off the back. And, my favorite way to do that is just bash them on something, and that's what I call a forced upgrade. So
Happens.
it happens. By the way, those taillights are $900 a piece. So when you bash them, you can afford a set of corner guards.
Oh,
That's
yeah, absolutely.
Just like that. Okay?
Mark Helyak said that he's waiting for you.
Excellent. I like to hear it. And by the way, you can call in and talk to Jeff, and he'll put your name at the top of the list. And then the moment they're ready, even before we release them to the public, he'll call you guys, and you'll be the first in line.
Yep, good
So,
chance to pre-order them.
Yeah. So any of that kind of stuff, whether it's JLK, JT corners, JL corners, suspension, whatever, call Jeff, get your name on the list. And he's one of the live bodies we have sitting across the street answering the phone, because that's what we do here. All right. Next, I want to talk about DEI. DEI, here's their logo right here. Cool guys. They make a whole bunch. What they're known for is their heat products. And this particular thing goes inside the top on your Jeep and helps deaden the sound. The Jeep that I'm test driving right now has that in there, and it makes a huge difference from the noise just echoing around in there. It comes in different textures and colors. Obviously, I think these two are probably the most effective, but they work great, and they're not that expensive, so good guys to check out. They also, this is what they're really known for, the exhaust wrap. This is a whole kit, so this includes all the bands, the spray, the whole 9 yards. I think you just got this and are putting it on yours as well. What are these plug wire covers? Little booties, just to keep the heat down from them melting as they go by the headers. Do we have anything else over there notable in the box? We just got a bunch of this stuff in, so we're talking about it.
Just more wrap.
Header wrap. This is just like if you need an expansion kit. And what's that?
The actual boom mat.
Oh, the boom mat. Okay.
Yep.
So this is it here. And, I think this one goes on the floor, right?
I think so,
Yeah, because this doesn't have the sticky stuff for the roof.
And they also have the
So-
transmission tunnel shield, which I just put all over
On
mine.
the other side, yes. Yeah, and I'm going to do that on Terramoto too. I've got that here in the studio now, so I'm going to start ripping that apart and working on that. Jeff's well into his. If you're one of Jeff's Facebook friends, did you already post a picture?
Yeah.
It looks all like chrome underneath.
It looks like a
yeah.
spaceship.
Yeah, it's cool.
But
it's cool, and that's got white silicate behind the aluminum, and that stuff is the best. That's what we use in the race cars. It really insulates the heat. And you literally can't transfer any heat through that. So
the big thing was it actually stuck really well.
Yeah, I told the guy, I'm like, hey, are you sure? He goes, trust me, it'll stay on there. I'm like, okay.
It's on there.
All right, good. Let's see, other featured product. We're going to talk about radiators. So hold that up. Let's talk about the radiator. Guys, the last few trips, I'm sorry, this one's been around, so it's a little bit beat up. There are several brands of radiator. Basically what I wanted to talk to you about was get yourself a good aluminum radiator. This one happens to be made for a JK, so this would plug into all the factory mounts and just make it super easy to upgrade. Your radiator right now has plastic tanks. It's so-so. If you're going to spend the money to upgrade, or if you need to replace your radiator, you want to look into something like this. We've got a wide variety over on our website, so you'll want to check those out. Or call in and talk to Jeff and the guys, and they can run through the different options, especially if you change motors or anything like that. So, and depending on whether you want to keep a mechanical fan or an electric fan, those are always good things. So those guys deal with those options all day long, and they can really advise you on that. More questions? How are we looking?
No, just a request to repeat my question since I don't have a mic.
Excellent. So the question before from Summer Ann was, I want to get these for a JL. Yes, they're coming, right?
And be patient.
And be patient, for Pete's sakes. All right. What else we got? Was that it on
That's it.
the JL half doors?
Oh, yeah.
So we showed these the other day as kind of a sneak peek when we had the Gladiator here. These do fit the JL and the Gladiator. Obviously, this is the rear door. We've got the front doors too. There was one around here, but I don't know
we
where it
even
is.
put them up to the
We
JT
did.
we had.
Yeah, it fits perfect. I'm gonna put a set of these on Alfie's. I just talked to him about that. So, and he's gonna get them wrapped to match and everything. So that'll be
Nice.
pretty cool. So we had to get some special plates made because the way the body's formed and the hinges. So we did all this extra detail work to make sure that these fit really nice. And we'll have some of these mounted up next week and then be able to show them to you on a Jeep. So pretty nice. All right.
John?
Yep.
We got a question on the radiators and things.
Okay.
And don't forget to repeat my question.
Okay.
Clint Goss, have you heard of keeping the top bolts on springs so the core support flexes and doesn't crack the radiator?
The question was, have I heard of keeping the top bolts on springs or something? I can tell you this one right here actually sits in some rubber grommets to help it just kind of float around. That is a popular thing to do. You know, the old days, they would just bolt it straight to that core support. But a lot of the radiators now, because of the plastic tanks, you flex those things at all and it's not a good deal. So, yeah, if you can somehow isolate that. And I know a lot of people have gone back and done that lately. I saw Tommy Dykstra just like rubber fitted his and stuff. So, yeah. And certainly the better quality, like I'm running a Griffin radiator, the better quality you run. Or if you order our mounts, they hold it in the proper way, and then you don't have any issues. So, one more?
Next question, John Irwin, are you going to offer the PRP door bags for the jail as well?
We are, yes. We will offer the PRP. There's some over there right now.
Don't forget to repeat the question.
The question was, are we going to offer the door bags for these half doors like we do for the JK? And yes, we're going to make sure the same bags that fit the JK fit the JL. I just rode in the Wolverine or drove the Wolverine, and the one thing I missed was those door bags. So, yeah, the door bags are nice.
And your seats.
What's that?
And you missed your seats.
Yeah. Oh, man. And if you watched on last Tuesday, we talked about seats, we talked about harnesses, and how important they are to keep you in the vehicle, especially when you're doing those harder trails. And guys and gals, I don't want, if you're not driving on a 7 or over, I don't want to turn you off. I mean, we've got plenty of good information for everybody, and we welcome questions. I think next Thursday we're going to do a special tech talk for everybody on 35s and down. Oh, cool. So if you're watching now, next Thursday we'll have a lot more information specifically to help you guys kind of navigate your way through. And we realize everybody starts somewhere. So, nobody just jumps to a level 9 or 10 trail. They all start fire roads, working their way up through Big Bear and, easier trails into the harder stuff. So that's how we've all gotten here. So can't forget about those folks. Any more questions right now?
No, we're not.
Good, because I don't feel like repeating any. No, I'm kidding. Please keep the questions coming. Okay, next thing. We've kind of talked about products. I don't think we forgot anything, did we, Alex? That was what we needed? Okay. Next thing is going to be a how-to. So we're going to show you, we just grabbed a piece of metal out of the shop, and we're going to show you how to install a Rivnut. This seems to be an incredibly challenging thing for most people. And what I'm about to show you will blow your mind on how easy it actually is. And let's give it a shot, Jeff.
All right.
So we've already got a hole here.
Yep, and we already put a little grease on the thread, so it doesn't get too hot.
That's a really important piece. Just grab a little tube of grease. You put them on the thread of the bolt, which we call the tool, and drop that in. And then there's a lower nut down here that he holds onto, and with a drill, I just turn it on. Actually, let me go to low.
Spring is
Okay, so if you look now, it's already set, and hold that for just a second.
Turn it around, Jeff, because he can't see.
Oh, like that. There we go. Yeah.
There you go.
Are you zoomed in?
Yep.
Okay, so it's set and done. Just thread that the rest of the way out. So that the Rivnut's done. So if you have An electric drill, like this one's pretty powerful, but most of the smaller ones, and you can set the clutch a little less, what it'll do is it'll just stop as soon as the Rivnut is set. And that's all you need, and that baby's done. So you can do this one's a 5/16. You can do the same thing on the smaller. You can see, I don't know where you're at, but there's the 1/4 20, there's the 5/16 18. So these are real common on the JK, what is the JL now, and then the older Jeeps used a lot of the 5/16 stuff. So even though they're two different sizes, you still put them in the same way. One of the things that's kind of tricky is that the small one takes a hole that's just 1/64 over 3/8. Do you need to go buy a 25/64 drill? No. You can just, I hate to say it, but wobble out the hole a little bit.
That's what I did in all mine.
And what you want to do is you want to make sure that this pushes in tight. Even if it means you've got to tap it in with a hammer, that's the best way, because there's little knurls on this thing, and that's what needs to bite into the metal, so that when you're spinning it in, like we just did, that the Rivnut doesn't spin. If the Rivnut spins, it's never going to take a set, and it's going to cause trouble. So we always give you, where's the little 1/4 inch one? Show them what that is it's just a couple of special washers. We give you some hardened washers, and then the nut that's oversized, and the nut, this is called a flange nut, and it's got a knurl on it. So this is what grabs the top of the Rivnut when we're screwing this in. And it's really important to put grease on these threads before you thread on the Rivnut to install it in your Jeep, okay? The other thing I wanted to show you was there's another type of a nut, and this is called a clip nut. I don't know, Alex, if you're zoomed in on that guy. This is called a clip nut. We use a lot of these, everything from the rocker guards on like a JK or JL to the tabs that hold on an aluminum roof. These just snap on, but there's something about this material that I noticed when I was installing some, that when you go to thread in the stainless steel bolts that we provide, if they're just not perfectly lined up, they'll start to gall. So what I do, I'll give you guys a tip, is once I've got them all in and everything's lined up, I'll just take a 1/4 20 tap with a little grease on it and run it through. It lines everything perfect, and then a little grease on your bolts and put them right in, and they won't gall or strip, because you've got a small Allen on the top of this and you don't want to mess that up. So just a quick little tip on that. Any questions on that, Deb?
No, not so far.
Pretty straightforward.
Keith Lyon added that a 1/4 inch drive electric ratchet wrench works great.
Yeah, anything. I mean, you can even use a regular ratchet, but what happens is you start kind of ovaling with that, and then it doesn't want to set, where the drill just...
Or it lines up a little crooked, where the drill
just
spinning like exactly in the center is perfect.
Yeah, helps a lot. So you can go along and zip in a whole bunch of those real quick.
Yep.
So I will tell you, if you do a bunch in a row, the bolt and everything will get hot, and that's why we're telling you to put some grease on. Otherwise, the bolt will start to go, the threads will get messed up, and then it'll start messing up all of your rib nuts. So you want to be careful on that. And not all rib nuts are made the same. Some, especially of the smaller ones, these are steel, but some are aluminum. So, the aluminum ones obviously can get damaged more easily. But once these are put in, and they're put in properly, this is, they use a lot of these on aircraft. It is rated as grade 8 hardware. It's really good. It's strong, and it will work very good. So just keep that in mind. All right. The one other thing I did want to add was on our corner guards and a lot of other products that we sell, we have this countersunk. This is called countersunk if it's got the little taper where it sits flush. Make sure that you grease these also with a little bit of, I kind of overdo it on the grease so you can wipe it up at the end. But what happens is when this head sits down in the chamfer, it really has a lot of bite to it. And this little Allen will strip out real easy. So a little bit of grease will give you that extra little oomph where you feel good that it's tight enough that it's not going to come loose. So we have those in a couple different sizes that we commonly use in all the products. So I just wanted to give everybody a tip on that too. All right, any questions before we move on? Okay. JL people. All right, this is your first look at our cage in the JL. This is pretty cool because I know a lot of you have been asking about this. We're dialing in the last bits and pieces to make it work with both the hard and the soft top. But yeah, this will be the first real cage available. None of that bolt-in stuff, and you know what's there from the factory is kind of cheesy. So we're going to get you something real. And we also eventually, like we do on the JK, will offer a full kit where you can get rid of the dash. The nice thing on the JL is there's more room along the side of the dash to get cage components in there. So we've really got our work cut out for us on this, but we're pretty excited about it. This is very similar to the JK cage, and you know, which has worked great and been proven over and over again, even in the Terremoto for King of the Hammers. So yeah, really excited. I knew somebody asked about this a little earlier in the show, so I wanted to show you guys this and mention that. Any questions on that right now? Deb?
Sam Walker asked instead of grease, question mark.
Sam, I mean, I've seen people use wax and other stuff, but I like grease. You know, I mean, you're talking about like anti-seize or something like that.
Yeah.
That's fine. I just hate that stuff because it's so darn messy.
And it gets everywhere.
Everywhere. So
He asked about anti.
specifically anti-seize. Okay. Yeah, you could certainly use that. Just wear some grubby old clothes when you start using that stuff. So, and yeah, that's perfectly acceptable. Definitely, I would avoid Loctite with those kinds of bolts, or they're going to strip out, and you'll just end up drilling them out. So, all right.
We got a comment from Clint Goss and Jeep are watching Tony Pellegrino.
Nice. Hi, Clint. That's Wendy's husband, and of course Sam Walker. He likes all my little isms that I'm always I forget about him. You love them every time I say one.
He's getting ready to do an elite build.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Cool. And he was the one suggesting I do a tech talk on all the things that bug me, which is pretty much what I talk about anyway. So.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else, hon? Keep moving.
Yeah, keep going.
All right. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing good on time.
25 after.
Okay. We've got to have some more questions out there. Come on, folks. I leave a certain amount of time in here for you guys, so let's keep going. All right, next we're going to talk about our turkey run coming up out at the Hammers. You guys and gals are welcome to join us out there. It'll be from November 21st through the 28th. We are ordering 2 cords of firewood, and we've got a nice big camp. If you're going to be there on Thanksgiving with us, you have the ability to bring a potluck dish, and we're cooking 9 turkeys. So I will personally carve it off and serve it to you myself. So
It's a good time.
it's a great time.
A lot of wheeling.
And a
It's
lot of
great.
wheeling.
Yeah.
So if you have ever been anywhere, especially if you go on organized runs, where you sit on some run all day to go a couple miles, we are going to log in a lot of miles.
You love that, right?
I love it. I love logging a lot of miles, not sitting on the trail. And yeah, this will be the kind of thing where you can get a lot of wheeling in. And I guarantee after day 3, you'll be hitting the Advil and begging us for mercy. So please join us. You'll have a great time. And honestly, for most people in this week that we're out there, you can get as much wheeling in as you might get the whole rest of the year. So it's a fun time, and we're wheeling great trails. It's the Hammers. I mean, come on. So good stuff. All right, next. Questions. Yeah, of course.
Let's see. Sam Walker asked if there was an update on the TJ Dash.
Sam, did he see
Remember,
the?
repeat the question.
Sam asked about an update on the TJ Dash. Jeff installed it. I thought we showed
We showed
that.
it last Tech Talk.
We did.
Yeah.
So either you can go back and check last Tech Talk. Jeff's just in the process of installing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's not much to see. The steering column's all apart. And
Steering column's
you
a
know.
card. I'm putting in accessories.
You got your Switch Pro in there and
Yeah,
stuff.
so I'm still wiring everything up. But I did post it on my Facebook, so you can
Yeah.
head over there and take a look.
Ask for an update on your Jeep.
Yeah.
Well, we're grinding away. We're getting to the wiring.
You did all your heat stuff, your DEI.
Not all of it. I haven't done like the headers, and we haven't done exhaust yet.
You got the important stuff on, though, on the firewall
Yeah.
and under. Yeah.
So we're still hoping to make Thanksgiving.
Oh.
So that's the goal.
Otherwise, he's driving the bow tie again.
That's fine. Bow tie's great, but I think this is the longest I haven't wheeled my Jeep since 2007. So
That's cool.
I'm antsy.
All right. Yeah, good stuff. It's really looking good. Sam, I just gave it my personal inspection yesterday. So
Oh, okay. I didn't even hear about the results.
if you haven't heard, he completely gutted it. So there's
Yep.
not a single factory wire in there anymore.
Nope.
So
Thank
it's,
God.
yeah, he was having all kinds of gremlins.
Well,
that,
you build a Jeep since like 2006. You keep cutting into wires, you keep adding stuff, you keep removing stuff. We're
Yeah.
chasing wiring gremlins the last 2 years,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
I jumped on the chance to rip it all out.
Yeah, and you're doing the Holly stuff, right?
The Howie stuff with the Switch Pros for everything else.
Okay, and the Holly has that like digital dash. Mm-hmm. So that'll be all your gauges.
Yeah, I think I might upgrade that though. It comes with a 3.5 inch
Yeah, it looks
screen.
pretty small on there.
It's
So
tiny. I think a
maybe
Game
time
Boy has a bigger screen, so I think we're gonna upgrade it to a little something else.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's all digital.
Yep.
It's plug and play, and it's looking really good. So,
We're getting there.
and for Jeff, of course, if you don't know, he's coming from a manual transmission
yeah, 6-speed.
to a real transmission.
Yep.
A full
Still manual valve body.
Valve
though, so I
body.
bet you
That's
halfway.
right. Yeah. So you're doing 4 L80?
No, turbo 400.
Turbo 400.
Same as
okay.
Jamie. I think Jamie
Turbo
got my
400.
exact same transmission.
Oh, nice. And we do a high stall torque converter.
Yep.
So you got the headers on there. I mean, it looks good. It's looking
Yeah,
really
we're getting
good.
there. So
So
we're gonna run fuel lines tomorrow after work.
that's right. You had to upgrade the fuel rails.
Fuel.
Are you
yeah.
changing the fuel pump?
No, just because Walbro is so back ordered that we're running the factory one until that comes in.
Oh, okay.
But the 05s and above seem to work pretty well. People say so.
If not, I might be able to get you some from Aeromotive. So
Okay.
we like Aeromotive too,
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
right? Jamie's going to do the dual Phantom like I did. More questions, son?
Val asked, where is Andrew's Tracer LJ with the stock motor?
Oh.
It looks awesome.
We are just about to show that. Boy, we have people just 2 steps ahead of us. Why don't since we had the question, why don't we swing over, Jamie, and let's do it?
He's even fired it up, right?
Yeah, I think that's what this is. This is the
okay.
video of it firing up. Oh, can we turn it up?
Give us a thumbs up.
So this is that stroker motor, and it fired first time. The Jeep looks fantastic. I don't know if you guys are following. I saw he just posted some stuff on LJ Nation. He had the hood on. You know, this is a couple days ago, but we wanted to show you guys. It's really turning out nice. They right now they're just wiring all the Switch Pro stuff right here in the inner fender. I saw that today. And I don't know if the bumper's on already or not. He did the house steering. He upgraded the house steering. Of course, he's got the King IBPs. And this is the first straight 6 that's got the Tracer kit. So we're very excited about that. It's obviously, I noticed we've got around the shop. So many being built right now, including the one right there in the background of this video. So smooth, quiet. Yeah, we're super happy, and that's good. So Val, thank you for the question on where Andrew's Jeep is at. All right, we'll come back over on this side. I think that's the only video we had, right, James? Yeah. Okay. You can pause it now so we don't hear it revving in the background. All right. More questions, Deb?
John Frost asked, what's the wheelbase of the TJ?
Of Jeff's, maybe?
Mine's 107.
107. And you stretch how much front, how much rear?
6 rear, 7 front.
Okay. And Andrew's is 115, if that's what they were asking about. Yep. All tracers go to 115. Standard JK 4-door, 116. So that's a normal wheelbase. Our Elite, like the Terremoto, is 118. Okay. So any more questions on that?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right, next, if you live somewhere here in Southern California, is our Christmas crawl, which is coming up on December 18th. And this is usually a few hundred Jeeps. This you will register, check in, everything online. You will be assigned a group number. This will be a completely touchless, no check-in. You just show up, get in your line, and you're ready to go. This is a follow the leader through the best neighborhoods in Simi Valley. And every year, I don't even, what year is this one, James? Is it like the 10th annual or something? We've done them for a bunch of years. By the way, this whole thing started because my mom used to load us kids in the car and we would drive around and look at Christmas lights. I'm sure. Oh, she is. Okay.
Oh,
Hi, Mom. And my dad's here somewhere too. I think he's over there helping Jordan right now. So we used to do this, and then basically a few of us from here at GenRight at work just decorated our Jeeps and went out, and then that just took off. So it's been great. It's a lot of fun. We're playing Christmas music. People come out of their houses and greet us. Sometimes they're serving us cookies and candies and stuff.
People are just as excited to see us as we are
nice.
to see the houses.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's super cool.
It's like the regular Simi Valley Days parade. So pretty fun. So if you have any interest in that, both of these forms you can find on our website. That's what we need to add, James, is the website slide. There's a blue bar right at the top of our website. Over on the right side, it says company. You just click that and it drops down and you'll see these two events on there. Super easy to sign up. Again, if you're coming for this one,
Repeat that the vehicle has to be street legal and registered.
For this one, the vehicle does not have to be street legal. For the turkey run. For the Christmas, come on. There we go. For the Christmas crawl, this is on city streets. You must be street legal. No drinking, like lots of kids. You need to be with it, okay? So this is a real low-key evening. By the way, I'm drive around in low range and I'm still riding the brakes in first gear, so it's that slow. So just turn on some music and chill. It's going to be a nice couple-hour evening, and the whole thing ends up over at the mall. And then you can kind of gather up your stuff and head out. So.
And some people get food.
Yeah, there's restaurants and stuff there. Some people grab, Kentucky Colonel or some kind of fast food on the way. They eat it while we're driving. You can easily do that. There will be one added bonus this year. The best street that we can never drive down, that's usually blocked off because they have a big party, is closed because of COVID, so we get to drive down at this time. So one feather in our cap for this year. They have lights that go all the way across the street, and it's pretty cool. So that'll be nice to make a loop.
That at the mall will be doing the announcements for the
Winners. Yeah, so that's a great reminder. Thanks, Deb. We do first, second, and third place for best decorated Jeeps, and the email you get talks about a lot of that stuff. So we do limit this one. So if you're interested, you need to sign up for it soon, and it's only a month away. So try and get on that because Jamie, I think we've got to be getting close to maxed out on this one.
Yeah, I haven't checked in
Okay, so Jamie's going to check that out. The turkey run, unlimited. The main thing here is, and the reason we're asking you to sign up here is it gives us an idea of how many campers we have to park and how many people we're going to have. Even if you're not staying for Thanksgiving dinner or not participating in that, that's fine. We would just like to know, because a lot of people are coming for the first weekend before Thanksgiving, staying for a few days, going home for Thanksgiving, and then we have other people showing up after Thanksgiving. So we just want to make sure we can account for everybody, and we've got room for them. So everybody's welcome, all levels of vehicles. There's total cruiser, fire road stuff you can do out there over to Giant Rock and Little Pioneer Town and stuff. So even if you're not into trying to go up Sledgehammer, there's plenty of stuff to do out there. And trust me, we are back by 4:30 every night for happy hour like clockwork.
We don't miss happy hour.
And we build a giant fire and have lots of fun, music and everything around the campfire. Real nice group of people, and get to do our fair share of bench racing around the campfire.
Yep.
So that's a lot of fun.
Little guy race.
Little guy.
Oh
racing.
yeah, and so we all have. I know we've shown them before on Tech Talk. I don't believe we have one here.
No.
But we've got those little 1/24
Yeah.
axial crawlers, and we have stock, slightly modified, and super modified classes.
Yep.
So bring yours out,
Yep.
and
They're Axial SEX 24s.
that's what they are. Yeah.
So we have a little KOH with those around the fire every
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, they're like
So-
$110
Yeah,
with
they're awesome.
everything. Charger, the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
They're super fun, and they last a long time. You can go
Yeah.
like an hour with that thing.
Yep.
So super fun. We build a big course with the rocks around the fire and play to our heart's content. So yeah, it's fun. And what's really cool is
The mini bikes were coming.
I think too many people got hurt last time. Jordan said his wheel got bent. Jaron missed work because he got hurt. Everybody was all jacked up. Kyle got so hammered that he got some kind of a hawk mow or something. I don't know. Haircut.
I had half my kneecap skin missing.
Yeah.
I'm staying away.
Many beers and many bikes don't mix. So
Maybe start that before happy hour.
yeah, we got to keep it. It's a 10-day deal. We got to keep them going for a while.
Marathon.
They, for some reason, you get out there the first couple nights, people hit it hard, and they don't know how to pace themselves. So I'm still trying to coach the group in that, but I've been known to kind of have a lapse in judgment myself too. So whatever. Yeah. It's fun. What can I say? So I don't know if my mom's coming out there. She usually makes an appearance, and
Coming for a couple of days.
yep. And if you know my mom, she loves her red wine, and you can get her spooled up too. So
Oh yeah, she's a hoot.
I always tell everybody, do not encourage her, man. That'll just get her going. So no, it's really fun.
20 up. I don't know what you.
No, we're fine. We're fine. Do we have any more questions right now?
No.
Okay. So Turkey Run, I do want to warn you that the nearest gas station is like a 30-minute drive. So bring a little bit of extra fuel to get you through however long you're staying. If you know of weaknesses on your vehicle, please bring the spare parts. We'll have tools and stuff there, but I really don't want to play mechanic unless I have to. So I usually end up playing mechanic on my own stuff. So
Oh yeah,
last
year
year
you did.
I took out my transmission. So yeah, I found the biggest rock and parked on the top of it.
Tried
and then
to.
spent 2 days working on my Jeep. So yeah, try not to do that. And we always have open seats, so if you decide that you'd like to experience what it's like to go up Jackhammer, Sledgehammer, Resolution, something like that, be happy to give you a ride. I think you'd have a good time.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
we're going to have lots of people out there, I know, and definitely different people of all skill levels and all vehicle levels. So don't shy away from thinking everybody's on 40s. They're not, and it's going to be fun. So, anything else you want to add to that?
Not really. It's just a blast.
Jeff's our personal entertainment director.
Am I? All right. I'm gonna run with that.
He'll be checking you in and getting you parked and the whole deal. I'm pretty sure you did that last year too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're super easy to find when you're out there. So yeah, please join us. We got people coming from all over the country. So
Yeah. I even have friends coming from Missouri.
I don't know if Peter's coming. He talked about it.
I don't know. I heard
So,
from,
but he would be all the way from Virginia. So,
Yeah.
but I know Stephen Birch is. He's
yeah,
from Missouri.
we got a few people
So,
from Missouri.
well,
coming,
we've got his
so.
Jeep, so he's coming.
True.
One way or another, his Jeep's going there. So should be
Will
fun.
the race car be there?
Not the new race car, but the old race car.
Okay.
So
boy.
that's still enough to make you wear a diaper. So
We've got a couple of questions.
okay,
Repeat my question.
I will.
Bill Witten, what stall converter do you usually run?
Bill, excellent question. Now you're talking my language. So, what I run is 4,000. And by the way, that's not like you rev it up to 4,000 and dump the clutch. It engages before that. Everybody else tries to run 2,500, 3,000. It's not enough. It's not good. You need a higher stall. And in the race cars, we run 5,000. So just be kind of aware of what you're doing is you're letting the engine ramp up and get into its peak horsepower and torque so that it's really nice to drive. The other thing is the more horsepower you have, you want to be able to ease into that so you don't just blow the tires off. And that's a real challenge. So you want to get that higher stall, and you'll find that it's a lot easier to drive. If you're not sure about that and you ever have a chance to ride with me, you will be amazed. Every single person that rides with me is amazed how smooth my vehicle is, how smooth the power delivery is. It makes a huge difference in the ability to drive the vehicle and drive it smoothly. You know, a big part of it is to make your vehicle last and live is drive smoothly. So I know Jeff is, you're going, what, 3,500?
35.
So we're going to try that, and we can always loosen it and make it up a little higher. So
Neil Overstreet, repeat my question, 2 or 2.5-inch coilover shocks, question mark. Why do I need one size over another on a Jeep?
okay, Neil asked about 2-inch or 2.5-inch coilover shocks, and why do you need one over the other? The bigger the shock you go, the more dampening control you have. The springs are the springs, right? So if you're running a 200-pound spring or 250 spring, and Jeff's had a lot of experience with this since he got here.
Yes.
A lot. And just to give you an idea, you know, I'm running a 3.0, which if you do the math is a 65% increase in dampening control. So I know it doesn't sound like much. You go, well, that's only another 1/2 inch, but it's a huge difference in dampening. So from 2.0 to 2.5, huge difference. And by the way, 2.5 is the first piston that's big enough inside the shock that they can do the detail they need to actually start to make the valving really work good. If you ever get a chance to talk to somebody from King, they don't consider the first real shock until you get to a 2.5. So
That's why I'm going to 2.5.
that's why you're going to 2.5s. That's why Jamie's going to be on 2.5s. So I had the opportunity, and we designed the Elite suspension to handle a 3.0, and man, the dampening control. And for those of you that don't follow us that close, I just had my 3.0s freshened up at Fox like a week and a half ago, and just having them rebuilt and fresh, the dampening control is just amazing. The whole time we were at Moab, I was just super impressed with how smooth and how it soaked up everything.
That
So
was the first time we touched them since before KOH.
yeah, because coming into KOH, I didn't
Yeah.
want to touch them.
Yeah.
I knew how the Jeep was, and I was like, I'm leaving it alone. You know, Fox begged me to come out and retune them, and I was like, no, I don't want to. So yeah, those are working really good. But we've had great luck with both King and Fox on the 2.5s, 3.0s. I mean, you know, both you and I ran the 2.0s forever. Don't get me wrong. The 2.0 in a high quality King or Fox shock is so much better than the other garbage that's on the market. You know, if you're talking about just the regular, mass produced, you know, a lot of them are just made at Monroe and slapped on another sticker. So those are, you know, those shocks can be okay, but you know, if you're driving a stock Rubicon, which by the way has an upgraded shock over a standard Jeep, so the Rubicon ones are gas charged, and what that does is it helps keep the oil from foaming, but still that is a tiny shock. That's the equivalent of a screen door closer on your Jeep. you need to step up to a real shock,
Yeah.
and you'll be amazed at how much better it can do.
Just depends what you want to do. Like my 2.0s were fine until I started trying to keep up with you and the hammers all the time.
Right, yeah. So when you go to a coilover, one of the big advantages is that you put the springs straight over the shock. So right now on your Jeep, the spring and the shock are working in separate planes, where on a coilover, they're working in one plane. And a lot of the time that allows you to move the spring and dampening control out toward the wheel, which stabilizes the vehicle a lot more. So if you look at any of our suspensions, you'll see that we've moved those out as far as we can, and the vehicle feels completely different. I'll give you an example. While we were out at Moab, I had several camera people riding with me in the back of my Jeep. They had just come out of another Jeep, and they were complaining how rough the Jeeps were, that they hit their head like on the glass and stuff, that they were banging around back there. And when they got in the Terremoto and we were like dropping off stuff, they go, wow, man, this is incredible. And they were holding their cameras, so I wanted to make sure that they didn't get beat around too much. So again, this is why we say, if you find us out at an event or can join us at one of the events we're holding and get a ride with us, even a few-minute ride. We had a lot of people do that at Trail Hero. I mean, I probably, I don't know, including Jeep Night, I probably had 100 people in my Jeep. So, but you get just a few-minute ride, and I'm telling you, it's like needing glasses. You have no idea what you're missing. So, big difference. Yep.
Repeat the question. John J., with the other bolt-on coilover kits that put the rear shocks of a JKU at the awkward angle, what is the impact of that position? Reduce dampening? Question mark. More curiosity until they can go to the correct position.
Yes. So, John J., great question. I'm glad you brought this up, because this is one of those topics that I would love to bag on, because it's complete bullshit the way they offer this stuff. So, if a bolt-in coilover kit worked, I would be the first one to offer it. I could offer it right away, okay? It is not the right way to go. And you're wasting your time. We have these people call us all day long, like, I've been down this road, and they finally, when they get here, and they just say, all right, I'm done messing around. I know what you have is the best. And in meantime, by the way, they've spent as much money if they'd just come to GenRight, because they've been jacking around trying to do it on the cheap. So, but to answer your question directly, by putting the shocks in the way that they do, first off, it's hanging down below the axle. If you just go to our website and look at any one of our kits, nothing hangs down below the axle. That is an absolute no-no unless you only drive on the street. And then, why do you need coilovers? So, just let's start there. And if that's you, then you're probably not a GenRight customer. You might just be one of those guys' customers. But if you're looking for actual performance, actual something that works, then our kit is what you want. And laying that shock down, I'll give you an example. When they lay that down like they do in the back, they have to go to 400-pound springs. So where we're running a 150 and a 200, okay, that just shows you that they don't have it right. It's over leveraging, and it's working so hard to try and keep the Jeep stable. And then, so think about this. The shock's already laid back like this. Now you go up a hill. Now where's the shock? It's laying down in the dirt, man. Like, that's not right. You don't want that stuff. So, guys, just stop looking at that junk and steer your buddies away from it. And if you're watching this program, you're on the right track. So, all right. What else you got? Okay. Wow, good questions.
Yeah, I like that one.
All right. Yeah, I was trying my best not to mention any names.
No, not necessary.
Yeah. All right, let's go back. If you missed it, the roll cage for the JL is in the works. We're working on that right now. Many people, many times have asked for this, so we wanted to give you the update on that. We showed you how to install Rivnuts, and we showed you a bunch of new stuff, including all this DEI product, which you'll find on our website. And by the way, if you're not heat wrapping your stuff, if you're not concerned about this, you should be. If you look under my Jeep, our race cars, heat is not your friend. And you need to do everything you can to protect the rest of the components from the heat of your engine and your exhaust. So it just melts stuff. And your passengers, yeah. Debbie likes her shoes not melting off, so yeah. I'm sure that happens to a lot of people. So now that Jeff's got his big V8, he's going to be melting people's shoes. And be like, yeah, you didn't need those shoes anyways.
No, because I
They
got
were
the
just-
heat, because I got the
There you
DVI.
go. Yeah. And now you can just melt them by the fire. Sit down by the
Perfect.
fire, fall
I've done
asleep.
that- I've done that a
Yeah,
few
me too.
times.
Me too. Many people, we have to tell them to put their shoes out.
Yeah.
So, what else we got?
Joseph Stumpo said, that's why after Cord, I'll be going Elite with my JL.
There you go. Yeah, so he must have ridden with Cord. Yeah, that's awesome. So he's going to go Elite. Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, that's highly anticipated. I can't wait to get it. We talked about that on Tuesday, about how low it's going to sit, how much travel it's going to have. Yeah, that's really going to be a nice new addition to the GenRight product line, and we're looking forward to that.
Yep.
The other thing that you might want to mention is because of COVID, there's a lot of shipping delays, so people want to get their orders in earlier than normal.
Yes, good.
During holidays.
Thanks for the reminder. So Debbie's mentioning that because of COVID, there's a lot of shipping delays. I don't know if you guys realize this.
Our delays.
Not ours. I was just going to clarify that. When the trucks pick up from here, there's 30 semis full that move not far from here that cannot be moved every day. So, and that's Black Friday, or none of that's even kicked in yet. So there's already a shortage because they don't have enough people because of COVID. So yeah. So plan ahead. If you need parts, don't call with your pants on fire. Jeff can only do so much.
Yeah.
And I know Debbie had told us the cutoff for Christmas delivery is December 15th. And that doesn't mean call your order in on the 15th. That won't happen. That means it needs to leave our facility by the 15th. So yeah, plan ahead as much as you can. And obviously we do gift certificates and stuff like that too. So that's always an
We're
option.
going to be coming out with some Christmas packages
Oh.
for gift ideas.
Yes, we'll have some swag bags and some other stuff. The other thing I want to remind everybody is that we will be closed between Christmas and New Year's. So I know that's a big thing for a lot of people, but we'd like to have all of our employees go home and enjoy the holidays with their families. So we'll be happy to help you on January 4th. One more question? Yeah, we got time. We're getting to the end, so if you got questions, fire them in.
Mike Stewart, your thoughts, JK, LS, or Hemi?
Man, this has been a popular topic
This
today.
is the topic of the day.
Wow. Okay, so we just finished a Jeep. So actually, let me back way up. Many years ago, my very first JK that we built with the Elite suspension, I had a customer buy it. He wanted a Hemi. We put it in. I swore that would be the last Hemi I ever did. Now, today, we just finished a dark green. It's beautiful. JK four-door with a Hemi. The Hemi was put in by AEV. It was done before the Jeep came to us. And it just took a lot of extra time, guys. I think it was 30 extra hours. And, part of the problem is that all of the components, all the accessories, your alternator, power steering, everything, are cast into the front of the motor. So you don't have the ability to move that stuff around. On an LS, you can move it around. People make all kinds of kits. Mm-hmm. You can move it up, down, left, right, So a lot more flexibility when it comes to that. Otherwise, the Hemi's a fine engine. It's a little bit wider, and it's heavier. It's about 160 pounds heavier than an LS. So there's already a lot of weight on the front end of a vehicle, so you don't necessarily need to add any more. But for those of you that want to do that, it's certainly possible, but just know it's going to take a little bit extra and cost a little bit extra to do that. So great question about that.
Stuart asked if you've done an LT1 yet.
I have not done an LT1 yet. I've only heard of a couple people, and the couple people that I know that did it, that I saw out at the Hammers, were struggling with programming, and you basically got to have a PhD to operate that thing outside of the vehicle that it came in, because you're overriding a lot of the normal stuff. So just keep that in mind if you're deciding to go there. The LS is so readily available and so easy to work on, and even if you end up doing like Jeff did and getting the 5.3, still lots more power, lots more torque than stock, very affordable. What have you decided your budget kind of is looking like on this now?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's just you spiral and you keep buying and
what Jeff
upgrading.
got, what he got sucked into was, instead of just getting the standard transmission, he got the race transmission, and then instead of the standard Atlas, he got the race Atlas.
Race
because
case.
you go there and they go, well, for $500 more dollars or $800 more dollars.
I had to talk Steve into getting me the
Doing the-
races.
yeah.
I want to do it once.
Yeah.
So
And then you're set. If you ever upgrade the engine, you've got all the rest of it
I want to
behind.
run everything, put the
Yeah.
right. I don't want to do it, cut corners, then look back and be like, well, I had it all apart.
Yeah.
I really wish I would have done this.
Yeah.
So.
And that's a big part of what we keep trying to tell you guys is, you can try and do it on the cheap, and then you're just, kind of spinning your wheels. And I don't want to see you guys get burned out because you keep trying and spending money. And I don't know if a lot of you, Debbie's here, so I don't want to bash on her too bad, but when the wife's in your ear, like, you're just wasting our money, like, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Well, try and go to the well once, trust
Yep.
me, it's a lot easier. So, yeah.
John Miller asked if you've done any LS manuals.
Big John, I have not done any LS manuals. Here's what I can tell you. We did a manual transmission on an Elite build. We've only done one. That gentleman tried to follow us, and he had a heck of a time. What happens is you start wheeling when you've got a more capable Jeep, that your pace is different, okay? And when you're on 35s, you're really worried about going slow and controlling speed and what's my crawl ratio. The Terremoto only has a 60 crawl ratio, okay? You're not going slow. You're on 40s, you just roll over stuff like it's not even there. And honestly, when you realize how fast you can actually go, this is what we were talking about on Tuesday, is, I pull forward 100 feet and there's nobody behind me. Like, all I did was, step on the gas and move. So the suspension, the way everything works, and that's where Jeff's coming from. He's been following us on this manual transmission, seeing that, we're able to start on something, bump that next gear, where you need the wheel speed. You can talk. I don't need to put words in your mouth.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's just a little different of a pace. So before wheeling with all my friends in Missouri, I was first gear most of the time, going slow, crawling. Then out here, I'm fighting first, second, third, shifting all the time. So it's just not near as smooth.
Yeah.
And then you fall back.
Yeah, and I can tell you, from when I traveled to the East Coast last year with Jeff, I could get on stuff that was slippery, just nail it, clean out the tires, right? So everything spits out, you get the black rubber, and then you just let up, and now everything bites, and you're able to go.
Yep.
So it's a different style of wheeling for sure. And I know, both, you, Keith, Andrew, all manual. I started out as manual, but man, when I went to automatic, I never looked back. So.
Well, even just driving bow tie with factory
With a
train.
999,
Yeah, it was way better on the trail.
Yeah.
I felt like I had more power with my 6-speed on the road.
Yeah.
But on the trail, the automatic was a lot better.
Yeah, the other thing that's not talked about very often that I think is worth mentioning when you talk about an automatic is when you have a manual transmission and somebody's spotting you through something sketchy, the moment you push in the clutch, the whole suspension relaxes, and a lot of the time you fall off your line. In an automatic, that never happens. You're able to keep positive, and you guys have heard me talk about driving two-footed. Keep something on the drive line, and you can keep on your line a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
So, I don't look, if you're a manual guy, I get it. I'm not going to try and talk you out of that, but
Yeah, you are.
This is my nice way of saying you need to go to the other side. I know. And guys, you know, when I grew up, automatics were completely unreliable and total garbage. And, you know, I remember my dad had a little Toyota wagon, and that thing shit the bed on some dirt road, you know, and it was bad. I remember thinking, man, I'm never getting an automatic. Those things are terrible. Well,
I think
today,
that's where it comes from.
Today, man, they're beefy. I mean, we got them in every race car with 800 plus horsepower, and you know, it's you don't need to fear it anymore. And it is truly an advantage. It's as significant of an advantage. It's like adding lockers to your Jeep. You know, each time you do something like that, it's a significant advantage, and an automatic is one of those. So don't fear it. It's good stuff. So more questions, Deb?
Yeah, just more, have you done this and
Sure.
questions. So there's three of them, LS with a 4180E, a TH350 or a TH400.
Okay.
TH400.
So pretty much all of them. So the Terremoto, the question was, you know, what transmission combinations? Terremoto is a LS3, a built LS3 with a 4L80. I take the E and throw it away. I do a non-lockup fourth gear. That's the best. The only thing you have to do to accommodate that is have a transmission cooler. In the race cars, we do a Turbo 400 with big LSs. Those are 454 cubic inch LS engines, so they're really big and over 800 horsepower. The build Turbo 400s work perfect behind there. Like I said, we're running a higher stall torque converter with those and an Atlas behind that, and those are very reliable. Again, if you're going to go to an automatic, call, talk to Jeff, talk to myself. There's certain ways to do it. You can't just throw any automatic behind there. I mean, you can, but I'm not sure how that's going to work out. So we've figured out the right guys to work with that make them reliable, put the good parts in, and you're not going to have any trouble. So certainly putting in a transmission is hard enough to have to do it multiple times. So.
Kelly and John Miller want to know if you're aware of any manual transmissions running KOH.
Okay, so Kevin Sakalis used to run a manual transmission, but here's the problem. What happens is when you go through the whoop-de-doos, and this is another part of the reason that I run the high stall. The high stall torque converter helps to cushion the driveline as you're beating through the whoop-de-doos and the rocks. And remember, guys, we're not just like bopping along at quarter throttle. You know, you're on the gas. So, you know, you're really shock loading everything. So Kevin used to run a manual, and I remember he had to keep upgrading that manual because it has no ability to absorb that shock load, and it was just blowing apart those transmissions. So, you know, I know people have done it. Whether they finish or not, is beyond me, but I know people have done it. And, you know, that's a tough race. There's a lot of things going on there, and luck is probably 50% of the equation right there. So.
Jacob Klink asked, can you put a manual valve body on a stock 3.6?
I don't know. I don't know of anybody that's tried that. I know that the 3.6 has a manual mode, and when I drove Shane's JK and a JL just in Moab, but by putting them in manual mode, they were way more drivable. If you drive that in drive, in low range, that thing is like herky-jerky. It's trying to shift every 10 feet. I don't recommend that at all. You definitely want to use that manual tap shifter. So, yeah, super important.
That's it?
Yeah. Great questions, everybody. I appreciate that. And happy to share that stuff. It looks like we're out of time, so we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.